We're here to bring a new type of news show.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bringing news just for you. It's Friday, March 13th here in Seoul. I'm Lee Soo-jin, and this is News Generation. Joining us today is Brooke.
Hello, happy to be here.
To have you, and also Moonji's with us.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, and both are here to speak on behalf of people in their 20s and 30s. So we're finally at the end of the work week, and before we head into the weekend, let's talk about something exciting coming up next week. So global K-pop sensation BTS is set to make a long-awaited comeback. It will be their first full group performance in nearly 4 years, and here at Arirang TV, we're also preparing extensive coverage of the event, and adding even more meaning for us is the fact that the group's new album is titled Arirang. So Brooke, why are fans around the world so excited about this comeback?
Well, I'm not sure if you can tell by my shirt, the color, but I am an ARMY, so I could not be more excited to discuss our topic today because, like you said, BTS is at last returning as a full group for the first time in 3 years and 9 months. So needless to say, the anticipation is reaching fever pitch. So the global K-pop act is scheduled to hold a free concert called BTS The Comeback Live Arirang on March 21st at 8 p.m. Now, with all 15,000 of the initial tickets selling out immediately upon release on February 23rd and nearby hotels fully booked, some fans known as the ARMY are coordinating online to pitch tents in the square a day before the show to secure prime viewing spots. So police are expecting up to 260,000 people to gather in the Gwanghwamun area for the show. And it's no wonder because this will be the first time that the group is on stage together again after their hiatus. And it will also come right after the release of their 5th full-length album, Arirang, at 1 p.m. on the 20th, which is the day before the concert. So it's a very, very exciting weekend up ahead. And I think it's kind of a way for ARMY to show, hey, we are still here, we've been waiting for you, and we are so excited to see what you guys have been working on together.
So like you said, it's quite obvious how intense the anticipation for this comeback will be. So how competitive was the ticketing for the BTS comeback show, Moonju?
By the way, I've never seen Brooke this excited in her New Generation. Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah, and ticketing for the Gwanghwamun concert opened last February 23rd, as Brooke just mentioned, and the competition was absolutely fierce, with over 100,000 fans flooding the site the moment reservation opened. Especially this particular event was held entirely free of charge for fans, which made the rush for tickets even more fierce. If you missed out, don't be too disappointed. This concert will be broadcasted in the future, so tune in and catch all the performances that BTS will be doing in that concert.
Right, I'm glad how accessible this one is. So a free concert from BTS. No wonder the competition was so intense. It really shows how powerful the BTS fan base is, both in Korea and around the world. So we're going to talk more about this, but first, let's take a look at the screen. Being able to watch your favorite artists perform live has never been easy, but it has also never been harder. As the popularity of concerts and sporting events continues to grow, the competition for tickets has become fiercer than ever. From online waiting rooms to lightning-fast sellouts, fans are even sharing strategies on how to secure a seat. Today on News Generation, we take a closer look at the ticketing process that has become essential for concerts and sporting events, the scams and risks fans should watch out for, and the broader issues surrounding major pop concerts. So just as we saw in the video, getting tickets these days can feel like a sport in itself. So let's start by breaking down what the ticketing process actually looks like. So what are the typical ticketing routine fans follow before the ticket sales open, Brooke?
Well, it is actually quite a complicated thing. In fact, so much so that when I was an English teacher back in the day, one of my students here in Korea did her how-to presentation in English on ticketing in Korea. And so also she showed all of the apps that people use to practice their clicking. It's very intense, and I learned a lot that day about what goes into securing tickets for K-pop concerts. So people who plan to buy tickets usually have a routine, right? They log into the ticketing site at least 30 minutes before reservations open. Since most platforms require an account, it's important to sign up and log in beforehand, especially if you're a foreigner. There can definitely be some hiccups if you are an international person trying to use these platforms, so get there ahead of time. Then they keep the ticketing page open and they watch the clock down to the second. People will have countdowns going on and they click exactly when reservations open. You'll then be put into a queue. Now, if their internet connection is slow, some people will even try from a PC instead of a phone to increase their chances. I have seen many people go to PC bongs, so it's quite funny because you'll go in and you'll see some people playing video games, but whenever there's a big concert coming up, you'll see the ticketing screen everywhere and people just sitting and waiting for that countdown. But the queue can be thousands of people long, so it's really all about speed, the speed of your fingers and the speed of your internet connection.
So like you said, it really sounds like a race against both time and internet speed. And as demand grows, the competition for tickets is only getting tougher. So what strategies are fans starting to improve or sharing to improve their chances of success?
Oh yeah, you need to be very, very strategic. Popularity of K-pop and even Korean sports has been surging very widely. So the ticketing war has become fiercer than ever. So there is some pro tips for ticketing strategies that are being widely shared among fans, such as syncing your clock to the exact opening time and pre-registering your login and payment methods, and accessing the site with multiple devices simultaneously, with your mobile phone, with your PC, and even with your laptops, right? And another golden tip is what we call ticketing, which means aiming for canceled tickets, and this is very efficient actually. I've had success with this method. By checking the exact time these canceled tickets are released in advance, you can gear up and give ticketing another shot. Yeah.
And both of you guys are sharing really good tips I kind of want to write down. So I'm kind of curious how these work out in real life. So Brooke, have you had success with buying like these popular tickets?
Yes, like Moonju mentioned, the ticketing method is a really good one. I've had success with that too. I am no stranger to K-pop ticketing, being here for 10 years. My first concert here was actually the Busan One Asia Festival in 2016. And I didn't know much about K-pop at the time, but that was when I first discovered BTS. And I just remember thinking that their performance was so incredible. They had such hard-hitting energy. And so I became an ARMY, and I have seen them a few times since then. They're always incredible. I've also seen 17 and The Boys. I went to all 3 of their concerts this past summer, which is the first time that's ever happened for me. The first 2 days I got the tickets myself through ticketing. The third day, though, I found someone posting online saying that they could no longer go to the last show and they wanted to give their ticket to a real fan. They were selling it at the original price, so we met at the venue and we talked about our bias together, and then she gave me her ticket. So I think that part of the Korean concert ticketing culture is really wholesome and nice, but of course there is a darker side. It can be very nerve-wracking trying to click faster than everyone else, especially when you're not actually going against real humans some of the times. You can be fighting bots. So there are these illegal macro programs. They're automated bots that are widely used by scalpers to instantly book, hold, and resell tickets for very popular K-pop concerts and events. And they often sell them for up to 25 times the original price. The government is trying to crack down on these things, but it's a difficult thing to combat. And it's really sad because I think real fans should have the chance to get those tickets.
Right, it's because of these automated bots that a lot of times not everyone walks away with a ticket. So what about you, Moonju? Have you had any ticketing success?
Yeah, I'm so jealous of Brooke's magic touch.
I've failed many times, trust me.
I failed every time. Okay, so I have a disastrous success rate in this ticketing war. Most of the times when I log in to the page, I receive a message that you are on the 2,000 something wait list.
I see.
And
the spinning wheel of death.
Yeah.
Continues.
continuously spinning, right? And if I'm able to select seats, very luckily, and here's a message that pops up. The seat has been taken by someone.
Oh, that's the worst.
I'm so sad. Then why are they even making me try to pay, right? Anyways, most recently, I missed out on tickets for last year's Korean series, the championship series of the Korea Baseball League. But sometimes it pays off to keep your inner peace and continuously refreshing the webpage. I actually managed to get tickets for the 2024 MLB World Tour Seoul Series this way, so you need some inner peace and patience. Yeah.
Patience is
Well, I mean, congrats for that.
Thank you.
And that disappointment, I think, something that many people can relate to. But unfortunately, the competition is not the only challenge that fans face. So what are some scams that fans should be aware of when buying these tickets, Brooke?
Yes, you definitely have to be careful out there because recently there have been more and more scams popping up targeting K-pop concert fans in particular. In one case, a group ran a social media account claiming that they could help people reserve idol concert tickets and asked fans to send money. But then they kept asking for more payments with excuses like, oh, you need to send it again under a different ID, or your transaction was flagged as abnormal, so you need to pay again to verify it. And in some cases, they scammed up to 30 million won, which is something like $25,000 from a single victim. And there were more than 100 victims in total. I think I'm a good person to talk about this because I have actually been a victim of a concert ticket scam here in Korea. It was a BTS concert, so I didn't get to go to the concert, which was really sad because it wasn't real. And I always think of myself as pretty savvy, but with the advent of AI and things like that, the screenshots can be extremely convincing these days. There was a screenshot with my name on a post-it note and the exact seat. It was very elaborate, these scams. And so my case actually went all the way to court because there were dozens of other victims, totaling millions of won. And I never got my money back, unfortunately, but it was good to know that the perpetrator was caught and brought to justice. Definitely just a message, a warning. Be very careful, especially if you're an international fan. Be sure that you are contacting and buying from verified sellers.
I think this happens because so many fans are so eager to attend and have that experience. Another issue that keeps coming up is illegal ticket reselling. So has scalping been a problem recently, Moonju?
It is a major issue these days. Following the ticketing for this BTS concert, illicit ticket sales have run rampant and sparking widespread controversy, with scalpers reportedly demanding up to 2 million won for tickets, which was originally free. So there are even brokers deceiving K-pop fans, claiming they can secure tickets in these vicious ticketing wars only to snatch their money. So they receive their payments and they never try for securing the ticket, and they just run away with the money. So as the scalping problem reaches a boiling point, the government has announced a crackdown starting this year, introducing a new measure to confiscate illicit profits and hit illegal sellers with fines of up to 50 times of the original ticket value.
Wow, that's great to hear.
Right, so hopefully these stricter penalties will help protect fans moving forward. And to get a deeper perspective on this, we're going to be joined by someone who's well-versed in K-pop culture and has firsthand experience securing tickets to popular K-pop concerts. That conversation will take place right after the break, so don't go anywhere.
NewsGen wants to hear from you. Go to YouTube and search out Channel Arirang News. Click Posts and cast your vote in the poll. Make a new type of news with us.
Joining us today is David, a content creator and BTS fan who recently tried to secure tickets for the group's upcoming concert. So hello, David. Thank you so much for connecting with us today.
Hello, glad to be here.
So I like your sweatshirt today.
Yes, it's in purple tone.
So David, how did your attempt to get tickets for the upcoming concert go?
Yeah, so luckily I did manage to secure a ticket, but I saw your piece beforehand, and you guys mentioned words like sports and battle. Indeed, it was more like a war to me, actually. It was a total roller coaster. I had to ensure like the fastest and most comfortable environment. I straight away head to like a PC room, and there I met like hundreds of army just gathered along together to get the ticketing with myself. So yeah. I went to the PC room like 30 minutes before the actual ticketing happened. I was just pre-logged in. I was studying all these different kind of strategies to get the tickets myself on the internet. And when I actually entered the queue, I was so surprised because there were about like 150,000 people in queue in total. And yeah, I entered at like the 135,000 mark. So, in one part of me thought I was doomed, but I didn't, give up on hope until the end. So I just patiently waited. And at the end of like maybe waiting maybe like 40 minutes, I grabbed a third floor seat. I know it isn't the best and the stage might be a little far, but I'm still very happy in the fact that I'll be there present in the historical event. And yeah, I'm just grateful. And I do have to highlight one thing though, despite my luck with the concert itself, everyone knows that BTS is doing their grand comeback at the Gwanghwamun stage, and there was another ticketing for that one as well too. Actually, there were two sessions with the additional one just yesterday. But just to let you guys know that I did a epic fail on both of those ones, so I'm kind of sad. And on top of that, ironically, even though I'm going to the concert, there's a mini sales ticketing battle with the army bombs you have to bring. Apparently, there were four releases. I was not able to get my hands on any of them. So, yeah, fingers crossed that there would be more additional drops.
Well, as a fellow Army, I'm glad you at least had some success. It sounds like an incredible journey that you went through. So I'm curious, what is your best strategy for getting concert tickets in general?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of strategy. As I think you guys have already mentioned the most fundamental one. So let me just go into the details a little bit. So first of all, everyone knows that your connection has to be fast. But most importantly, through my experience, the best advice I would give is don't panic. So a lot of people become very like frantic when the actual time comes and the clock goes down. So people like frantically click on the this click sign. And for me, that didn't work out because the interface kind of swifted or shifted a little bit. And so my advice would be don't smash the mouse, be calm. One precise click is better than the frantic ones that might glitch the system. And I think secondly, once you're in the queue, the best advice is never touch anything. Like a lot of people I've noticed go to multi tabs and they go to YouTube and watch and try to spend their time in the between. But I think those are variables that might mess up your chances of actually, getting in the actual ticketing queue. So yes, never refresh the page, never touch anything, just leave it there. Just maybe use your phone to, for entertainment for the remaining 30 minutes or so. So that would be one big part of advice. Third, if you get in the system, some people might get startled by a pop-up CAPTCHA. So they have to verify you're human. So be ready for the CAPTCHA sign to pop up and have your keyboard ready on English mode because it's going to be in the alphabet. So a lot of people, they have it set on Korean and they miss those very precious 3 seconds head start. So that is a very pro tip. Fourth, I think you have to be very realistic with your queue number. So in my case, it was 135,000 or something. So at that point, I was very strategic. I was very cold about it. And I said, I'm not going to get VIP tickets. I'm not going to get standing tickets. I went straight for third floor. So, yeah, I think that kind of strategy, knowing where you're in the queue, it just increases the chances of you actually getting the tickets at the end. So yeah, lastly, I think if you go to the section and pick a seat, there is a pop-up that says, you might have this seat might have already been chosen. So once that pops up, do not get startled. Just go on and move to the next seat, the neighboring seat. Don't go through other sections. Try your best until the end. And yeah, with these kind of tips, I think you'll be able to successfully get tickets.
I see. Thanks for the tips as a one with the disastrous success rate with the ticketing wars. It was very helpful. I think I've been doing everything that you just told us not to do. I'll keep that in mind. Anyways, our last question for you today is, what do you think is the biggest problem of buying concert tickets these days?
Yeah, to be fair, I think with this amount of demand and us, being in the free market, everyone trying to get these tickets, I think the current system is probably the most efficient way to do this. And honestly, the technical systems didn't crash, so it's fairly good. But nevertheless, I do have to point out two little things. The first one might be the scalper and scalpers, massive amount of them, professional ticket hunters. They purchase tickets for resale, and I don't know how they get around this things, but they use apparently macro or bots to penetrate the system, and then at the end they sell them at humongous prices that are well exceeding over the regular prices. So for the real fans to get them the tickets, I think the ticketing system or the label might have to cooperate in getting much stricter regulations or smarter systems to prevent these scalpers from getting in with the bots. And second one is when I went to the PC Bang, I did notice a lot of elderly fans and people that are a little less familiar with the digital technology. And it was kind of heartbreaking to see these older fans at the PC Bang looking lost and overwhelmed by the process. So I'm sure they read all the guides beforehand, but still, when it gets the actual thing, even people like me sweat, and they were struggling and stumbling. So I believe carefully that we might have to explore some inclusive and alternative systems, perhaps like maybe a little small quota for a fair lottery or different methods to ensure the process isn't just a technical speed contest that only younger people are able to compete in.
I think that was a really good reminder of how usually the fandom includes people from all different ages as well. So yeah, and also thank you so much for those tips. As someone who's just an anxious person in general, I am also guilty of the frantic clicking. So yeah, thank you for sharing your story today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we've just spoken with a K-pop content creator who successfully secured tickets, something many fans know is no easy feat. So this is what it really takes to win what's called a ticketing war here in Korea, and the challenges fans are facing, from scalping and inflated resale prices to scams targeting desperate buyers. But competition for tickets is not the only issue surrounding K-pop concerts today. So what other issues around K-pop concerts should we be discussing or being raised more awareness of?
Well, one issue is concert infrastructure. So of course, the Hallyu wave has made K-pop a lot more popular. It's brought a lot of overseas people to Korea to see these concerts. So there's a huge demand. Even within their own countries, there are survey results showing that people would travel 240 miles to see a BTS concert. But when they come here to Korea, there often aren't enough of these big concert venues, and that means events have to limit their scale. There's more competition, and thus more scalping and scams. So I don't know what more could be done, since Korea can't make itself larger, but infrastructure is definitely one of the issues that can be talked about. And then just trying to reduce ticket competition and those scams that we talked about would be the biggest issues.
Right, and because these concerts are so large scale, obviously safety is also a huge issue. So what are some safety concerns that fans should keep in mind?
Yeah, definitely, standing shoes, these days, if you're watching the standing area, it's very hard for you to watch fully enjoy the concert, especially if you're relatively short. So that's why people are buying these standing shoes. But you have to really be careful with this, because there are some injury issues such as, breaking teeth or the losing toenail. So, always, more than anything, your safety is your priority, right? So you have to be safe with everything that you're doing the concert.
Well said. So going back to the concert that's happening next week, so how do you hope this BTS comeback wraps up, Brooke?
Well, I know we're all super excited for this comeback, including myself, but like we said, safety is the top priority. So I hope that everyone can enjoy this concert without any incidents, and I hope BTS enjoys receiving all the love from their fans. And don't worry if you did not get a ticket like me, you can watch it. Netflix is going to be transmitting this, and it will be the first time that it's transmitted live from Korea. The organizers are saying that more than 50 million viewers are expected to watch this from 190 countries and 300 million users. It's going to be a huge event, a global live broadcast on a scale similar to the World Cup or the Olympics. So I just hope it's going to be a massive success for them. I know it will be.
So what about you, Moonju?
I think one of the very special moments that BTS will be doing here is, I think, them planning on performing with 50 dancers and 13 members of Arirang Gugak Ensemble after the glorious opening stage. So I hope it would be a great chance for our folk song Arirang become even more widely recognized to global fans.
So as we've heard today, the excitement around K-pop concerts and BTS is stronger than ever, but so are the challenges that come with it. So from fierce competition for its tickets to issues like scams and also safety concerns, there's clearly a lot for fans and organizers to navigate. Still, moments like the upcoming concert from BTS remind us just how powerful music can be in bringing people together. And hopefully next week's event will be a celebration that fans everywhere can enjoy safely, whether they're in person or watching from home. And that brings us to the end of today's episode of News Generation. But Nusha will be back on Monday at 10:30 a.m. Korea time with more stories and discussions. A big thanks to
A
Brooke.
big borahae to everyone.
And also Moonju.
Thanks for having me today.
And to our viewers, thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll keep the excitement going as we count down to the big comeback. We are News Generation.